1, 2, 3, 4. How do I sync this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Volume up. Oh. So like 1. Oh, that's too loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good enough. Okay. So I would like to make a video of my SongCreator project. I've been writing since October, and I've been trying to share updates. The most recent update I've done was about 3 months ago in March. And 1 second, I have echo. So back in March, I gave an update of Song Visualizer, which it's come a long way, but there's kind of a lot to cover in this project. You'll see that it's written in Python. I have PyCharm open. I don't want to go over the source code, but I will just show maybe the log output and demo some things and try to describe the writings, because of the goal of this project. Well, first of all, it's using PyGuitar Pro library, so it writes Guitar Pro notation. So that's the main goal, to write like Guitar Pro notation, because there's kind of a lot to go over. So let me just start by the demo. So I started the program. You'll see I put SongCreator V0.2R alpha. I don't remember the latest version that I did last time offhand. Oh, by the way, I don't really want to edit this video once I make it. I kind of want like a stream format. I just whatever. So I tried to brainstorm what I want to say. I don't have like a script or anything. So yeah, there's going to be some weird stuff going on, but I think it's worth sharing here. So I started this program based off Rocksmith. If you're familiar with Rocksmith, it's basically like Guitar Hero for a real guitar. And I started Rocksmith back when it came out, like Xbox 360, and then moved up to the PC version. And you know, in the PC version, there's mods. You could write your own song in Guitar Pro, and I've been doing that quite a bit. I think since 2013, I've been putting Guitar Pro notation in the Rocksmith, and I've done a lot of writing ever since then, up until like 2018 at least, or more recently 2020, 2021. But eventually, like this past October, I started writing this program to help my writing, I guess you could say, because when I wrote, I used to go by transcriptions, pick up the guitar and play, then write in the sheet notation what you play, and that took a lot of learning. If you're familiar with Guitar Pro software, you have to fill each measure. It doesn't let you leave it minus the amount. Well, let me not get into that right now, but I would if I had Guitar Pro open, but we'll get there. So there's a lot of things going on to get this video. I have 2 computers. I have one to record the audio for this mic, and then one to demo the software, because I write this software in Mac right now, and there's a lot of differences between Mac and Windows and Linux. So Mac takes learning experience, but aside from that, I have the program open, and just bear with me here if I just talk whatever. You'll see there's 4 windows open. There's SongCreator, the Song Remixer, song visualizer and another song visualizer. So I could start with the main program. Let me restart it. SongCreator. Right here is the main one that I started with, and there's been some updates since the last time. I can't remember offhand. There's quite a I'm thinking over the GitHub commits offhand. It's like 80 commits in that 3 months, March to June now, and quite a lot of files changed. I did a lot of reorganizing and updating, quite a lot. So I just want to try to demo this to like anyone who's not seen this or whatever. I just like going over. It's checking the mic here. So the first thing, the tab here is file. So the first tab is relating to, you'll see I have different tabs, Commonality Key Scale. So these are the, there's a website that I wrote automation software, Java, Web, Selenium, because it had, that's a whole nother videos on my past, where I got all these arrays I made of possible scales to choose from. Give me a second. Just bear with me. And so basically, I organized this commonality key scale based on that website, because you could choose what type of rarity the scale is, and then followed by that you choose the key and list all the keys, and then you could from there choose the scale. So the scales change based on the commonality, so this list will be different each time. So rare has different scales than common, and same thing with exotic. I really like this Chinese Mongolian in the key of A sharp. It's really nice. But then there's also this Hungarian minor, which is pretty fancy. There's a whole bunch. It's quite a lot. But other than that, we have the tempo of the song, of course. When you do the tempo, I was doing a formula to calculate the length, and it's quite a fascinating formula or algorithm, whatever. So like 109 and 109 tempo with 89 measures equals to 315 length. I don't have all the tempos, but I did a lot of math to get each number. Like I could see like the amount of difference of time between 93 tempo and 94 tempo. It's kind of fascinating. Like 93 tempo is 42 seconds difference between 94 and 93. But if you go 95, it's 3 seconds from 47 to 44. 3 seconds difference. Gosh. Well, you could go at this all day. But so the song title and the file name change based on your key scale chosen automatically. But the file name also generates based on the current time down to the hour, second, minute. So that way, when you generate the files based on this directory, you could toggle this generate subfolder on and off. And there's a demo for that I have right here. So let me go back. Oh, you didn't see that. All right. So you go back to SongCreator GP. This is the directory it saves. And this goes by the I forget what exactly the subfolder does offhand, but right now I have it toggled on, and it goes by the tuning, which is, oh crap. The only thing is there's so many windows. Okay, go to tuning. This is another tab in measures. You change the tuning. So now you have E standard, drop D, open G, open E. This changes this the notes that you choose. Like there's an array for each scale and each tuning. So like if you change the drop D, the subfolder is going to pop it in drop D, and the other ones are E standard, so it'll be in this folder, drop D, E standard, E standard. Let's do a demo. Right now I have this check open file. So it's an open the guitar profile when I hit generate. This is exotic A sharp Hungarian minor key. Yeah, and should be opening. Let's see. Oh, nope, I broke it. I'm not gonna click that. That's a trap. I'm not showing you the source code. Let me try again. So there's been a lot of changes. Let me demo the E standard, this scale. So let's go back. E standard, C, and you see all the ones in C that I've generated previously over the past couple months from January up until today. But let's look at the most recent one. It's going to be, if I could stop getting rid of the window, it'll be generated just now. So now the guitar profile will open. The error is related to something I'll look at later. But I've got this version 0.2R, error-free for the most part. There's a lot of errors are resolved that were more prevalent or prioritized, I guess. But here's one song. I just hit generate, it opened. And you'll see here it went to the folder E standard, C, and the most recent one, Moorish Phrygian. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you'll see does the scale, the date, the exact time, because like 1:35:27, what if happens if I do one like a second later? It'll be like 1:36:11. I want unique files because if you don't do unique file names, it'll replace it. And there's a difference between these two, but can you find it? It's kind of interesting. Okay, but before I look at the exact song, actually, let's demo a little of the song. Just a couple seconds. So I can't hear this right now, but the video should be able to. So this will lead into more preferences that I have for the SongCreator that I want to do. So let's come back. And also, actually, let's go to, I'm going to be all over the place here. I don't even know where to start. Let's go to this. This is the last update I gave in March. I demoed this. So but I want to give a disclaimer. There's going to be some latency because I'm recording with OBS right now. And that messes up the latency on this demonstration. For example, like when I turned off OBS, the recording software, the performance is better and it's noticeable. So first of all, just look around. This is Song Visualizer. You see a song start time, song current time, song length, song selected, currently selected. This one right here, there is a functional open button. You could choose which guitar profile you want. And this works by first importing the guitar profile file. It imports every measure, counts the measures, gets the notes. It converts the note length to real time, and it accumulates it and puts it into an array. Like, okay, this note in measure 40, note 3, is a quarter note, and its desired time is accumulative, calculating every note before it and their length, and converting that to time format in Python. So when I import this, I have an array that saves every measure, every note, every information about that note. The note length, the note type, the note fret, the desired time to play. And you have to incorporate that in the real time with this GUI right here. So this GUI is written in Tkinter, TTK. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like Python GUI format. I first learned GUI format in Java using frames. And I can't think of the exact words offhand, but it Python kind of the same format. You got buttons, you got text, you got images. When you click the button, you tell the button what to do. And in this case, Tkinter, or the GUI format that I'm using, it requires, just give me 1 second. Just making sure I'm recording the audio. Okay, so the Tkinter GUI requires, I have images here. So I have, this is a fret bar line for the 0, the 1 fret. Well, actually, 0 fret is off, but 1 through 18, or mostly 1 through 17, have a bar fret and then a finish line. So this bar fret, separates the frets from the fret numbers down here. And each fret have as an object. So each fret places the images of the fret lines, the fret text, and then from there, which I'll demo in a moment, the notation from the array which was imported creates the fret creates a fret object, which is an active note. And that active note has information like what I'll show you, which is images for strings similar to Rocksmith. So the low E string red, the A string yellow, D string blue, G string goldish, and then a B string, what is that, green, and then the E string purple. And so when I generated that guitar profile a couple minutes ago, however, the one I have open, and when I hit generate, open the guitar profile, I sent that data. Actually, the SongCreator sent the path of that file to the song selector or song visualizer, which you see is selected. So I have lead checked right here, and I'm going to hit play, and you'll see. So keep in mind, there's going to be a latency. It's expected just because OBS is making it worse. But it doesn't help that there's a lot of notation in this, actually. So this may be a bad demo, but you'll see the song length. Hold on here. Nope. That is a bug. You see the song length? That's a good thing about demoing, right? You get bugs live. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to open a different song. I'm going to open my three-dimensional album, in particular, this three-dimensional song. Let's give me another moment. I had to switch the track on my earpods. All right, so I'm going to open three-dimensional. All right, this isn't working because I bugged out this program. Let me switch to this one. So this program I wrote as an updated version of the song visualizer. However, it doesn't use tkinter. It uses Pygame, which is different. Pygame doesn't use well, I should say Pygame uses images differently. Pygame it doesn't create image objects. Instead, it paints blips. So you'll see, if I could show what happens when you start this program up, right? Watch what happens. Pay attention to the song visualizer window. You see each fret goes from left to right, how they're printed, each fret line, left to right. Try to watch it again. It's because I make it a for loop that goes through each fret iteratively, 0 through, I think, 18. Off by 1 always throws me off. But it goes, 0 to 18. And you see prints left to right. See? So that's a fascinating thing about Pygame. Okay, so the tkinter, the way you update the moving images isn't as effective as it is in Pygame. Pygame, you move the string, which is, the color of the image, yellow, red, whatever. You move the image, but you have to fill the previous gap, which was moved. Otherwise, you have a sustain. Maybe you have to make it. I haven't perfected the ghost note sustain. In the song visualizer, you may have seen really quick. Let me just stick with this right here. So 349, see, now it's perfect length. There's a bug when you do whatever, it's not important. But the notation's kind of laggy, but you see, it's kind of like Rocksmith. So, but the thing about tkinter that I like is that while this is going, I'm able to use my mouse and press the stop button. If I try to do that with Pygame, I'm going to have to bind it to like something else, like pressing a space bar. Because when you hit start, I'm still working on the GUI, but you'll see my mouse I can't use. But also, the way I update it is a lot smoother. In Pygame, I update the position of every string, fret, whatever. Then I update the previous position to fill in the gap. Then I update all images at once at the very end after everything. So it's different than tkinter because tkinter is moving each one by one. Pygame's kind of updating one by one, then all at the same time, kind of. Also, there's variables I have for look this many seconds away, and the update speed. So right now I have like 25, 30-ish milliseconds, the updating delay, and then I have 3 to 5 seconds. I forget the exact 3 or 5. Looks many seconds away. So this notation is real time. You open up Guitar Pro, you can compare. This is the string at this time on this measure type of thing. You just have to compare and open it up, and it's a lot of work, but it is accurate. So like the thing about this, I have to stop and start it. So let me restart it. So this time when I generate, I'm gonna hit rhythm before I start. Actually, I'm gonna hit alt lead. Well, actually, hold on, let me start over. A better demo is this, if I hit open, I'm going to open 3-dimensional, my song I'm actually listening to now, and then I hit start. I just want to compare the lead to alt lead to show you it's doing different notation. So right now it's doing lead 7 5 7 5 9 whatever, and then I'll stop it a couple seconds. But you see I have to clean up the bottom. I didn't clean up the correct spot, so the strings just stay on the bottom once they're done. I didn't forget to clean up, but I just kept adjusting. Like I'm having a problem with overlay. Like I had to make the width, actually the height of each string, not overlay. So I had to make it thin, so that way if one's on top, you could kind of tell there's 2 notes rather than like one. Just some. Right now this is showing ghost notes, but you don't know which note is a ghost. There's actually a bug with ghost notes for some reason when I worked on this, and that the ghost note was not registering the correct string when you imported it. And I had to say, if you're a ghost note, then just use the previous string. Like I compared it, like I had the debugger open and I saw Guitar Pro said this is this string, but when I imported it, it said no, it's not. So when I made the GUI for this, there's like way off by 1, but it wasn't me. But all right, so stop and then restart, and I want to demo some of the SongCreator other stuff. Actually, there is also a song remixer. So that you press open and you take the song 3-dimensional. And what this does, it imports it, and this was a lot of work. This, well, all of this was a lot of work, but this takes the guitar profile that you open and it writes notation. Okay, it takes every note from the imported notation and it says, okay, it adds that to an array saying this is the allowed list of frets, allowed list of strings. And then it goes through each measure and it says this measure has this many quarter notes, this many eighth notes, this many whatever. So when it writes the notation, it says, okay, this measure can only have this many quarter notes, could have this many eighth notes. The exact amount is the same number as the imported. However, the notation, the strings, is chosen more dynamically based on preference, such as the GUI demonstrates. The GUI is SongCreator. The Song Remixer is hard-coded at the moment because you see Song Remixer has no GUI other than open. So the Song Remixer, let me focus on that. I probably demoed this before, but I'll just go over it briefly. You have lead, rhythm, and alt lead have the same settings. well, rhythm has a unique one patterns, but other than that, each rhythm, lead, alt, lead, it generates 3 arrangements. And you get to choose the strings, the frets, the lengths, the priorities of the notation. So the lengths, quarter notes, whole note, eighth note. So the trick is Guitar Pro requires writing full measures, such as, let me try to show. If I take this, well, I would like to demo this this remixer. For now, I just have to say, like, hold on. There's a lot going on. Let me take this measure and just delete and just show you the way Guitar Pro works. You see up here it says 1/4 because I have time signatures 4/4. If I just leave this, it's not going to work because you have to fill in every second, even if it's not an actual active note, even if it's just a rest. So the trick that resolved a lot of my errors because of that requirement is if you don't have a length selected, you're still going to add it to another list called list of eligible rests, because I had a lot of issues where I was filling up these measures up to like 0.188 or whatever the amount of a 16th note is. And just to resolve errors, I was like, all right, I'll just force a undesirable note as long as it's a ghost, because the whole goal of this is to hit 100% of notes. I can't play no 64th note, 32nd note when I try to play visually. The entire point of this is playing visually, like sheet notation, but more interactive, I guess. But the concept of the priority notation is, I'll just say how it works. There's a min, there's a max, and then there's a remove amount. So there's a random number generation between the min and the max. And out of everything, out of all types of notes, the highest priority is chosen first. So that means whichever one generates the highest number randomly first is chosen first. So in this case, I've tried something where, I like having the song start with quarter notes, so I have to give the initial priority higher than slower type of notes. So if you look at the song I generated, these past 3 ones, you'll notice they all started rather quickly, and then they went slowly slower to quarter notes, whole notes, based on the priority that I gave it. The same thing on this one. It starts fast. Look at the multi-track. Goes kind of fast here. For the lead and the alt lead, the rhythm is kind of slower. Like, for example, the rhythm has other priorities, and the rhythm, I just removed anything shorter than a length of 1, which is, I forget, it's a quarter note. I don't want anything shorter than a quarter note in my rhythm. That's just me. I like having my rhythms through the patterns. And another thing that I need to demo is having these, well, other than practically everything here, relating to the rhythm. I have these 2 tabs for chords, and I added images. And so each image has a checkbox, true, false, yes, no. And what that does, you be able to guess, is I want this chord in my rhythm, I don't want this chord in my rhythm. You tie that into the patterns. So the patterns is exactly as it sounds. You play this chord 2 or 4 times or 8 times. That's what I have checked here. And then after you play it that many times, it chooses a random number. You played it 2 times this time. Okay, you're going to play 4 next time. You played 4 this time. Okay, you're going to play 2 next time. It's random each time, as long as it's not the same amount of patterns that was just chosen. If you just did 2 patterns right now, you can't do 2 patterns again because that would be 4. that type of thing. So you check all of these off. Right now I have 248 as default. I like 248 pattern because sometimes you get really surprising results. And right now, lead and alt lead are single note. Rhythm is 2 notes to 3 notes. So in the rhythm chords, there's a lot of work getting 2 notes and 3 notes in the rhythm in Pi Guitar Pro. But other than that, yeah, I would love to share the source code one day, but right now I could just verbally describe it. You got a measure, you got notation, and a way to get it all up. I'll just show you the output. That's all I could do. Show you the GUI right now. So you could choose each configuration, and each, there's quite a lot of chords you could choose from, 2 to 3 fingers covering all different types. You got power chords, you got double stops, and no bar chords. So I'm not a bar chord guy. I'm only adding what I'm gonna play. So you check one type of chord off, you add it in the song, or you don't. And that's the beauty of the song Remixer, is also the save feature. So as I may have mentioned before in the previous update, any of this information, but one reason why I do these versions is because every time I make a change to this GUI that breaks functionality of saving and loading a previous version of a file, like what I mean by saving and loading, every preference here I have in the GUI, I could save and load. So that way, like, oh, I like the song this generated, I want the preferences to come back here. But the problem is when I upgrade to different version, I can't load those previous files. So that's where the song remixer comes in. It says, okay, I'm going to write it basically exactly the same, but I can configure the settings along the way. But so other than rhythm lead, alt lead, there's this notation I did a bit of reorganizing. I'll just go over these. Move focus frets every X notes. So I wrote this to focus on 4 frets at a time. And there's calculations saying how often you should move. Like right here on the right, I've moved priority. What that does is like it takes a log of every time it chose a well, that goes into, okay, let me start. This move priority goes on a couple things, actually. The way the notes are chosen, like choosing a closer fret, choosing a closer string. I don't want to jump strings, jump frets. I want to play relatively close to where my fingers currently are. And that ties into move focus frets every X notes. I want to move my frets every 4 notes as long as, or the 4th note would trigger when I'm eligible to move up until the next length of 1 comes in. So I'm not going to move notes on a quarter note. I want time to transition. I want a quarter note transition every 4 notes I play. And you could change it. But this priority also, it keeps a log of every time a fret is chosen. So because I kept a log. Here, I could show the log. This log keeps track of how many times each fret is chosen for each arrangement. And what the move priority does, it balances it out along the entire fretboard. Rather than staying in 12 to whatever fret range, it balances it along the whole range. So, like for example, if I could do a quick demo on this. The first parameter or first dimension, whatever you want to call it, of this array is the amount the fret has been chosen, and the second one is the fret itself. So if you go, I have the opposite. The first one is the fret, the second one is the amount of time the fret has been chosen. So right now I have the configuration set for frets 1 through 14 on all arrangements. So if you look at frets 1 through 14, you'll notice a okay spread based on the notes that are eligible based on where you currently are at. So like most I see is fret 7 38 times, fret 9 39, fret 10 35, fret 11 25, fret 12 15, fret 14 5 times, fret 2 4 times. It's not the best spread, but it's certainly better than these other ones. Like these other calculations, calculated and random, they're not they're I forget them offhand, but random is as simple as it says. It's just 50-50, move up, move down. So I want to add these preferences in. Excuse me, I had a burp. But other than that, I have these. Give me a second. Okay, so other than that, I have these other preferences I actually expanded upon recently. Max amount of 16ths in a measure. What is the max amount of 16th notes that you want in one measure? What is the max amount of 16th notes you want in a row? It doesn't matter if it's between two measures, it's in a row. What is the max amount of eighths in a measure? What is the max amount of eighths in a row that you want? And what is the max amount of dotted 16ths do you want in a measure? Max amount of dotted 16ths in a row, max amount of dotted eighths in the measure, and max amount of dotted eighths in a row. So this is a new update in that my previous version, I didn't differentiate between the ghosts, or the dotted, in that like the measuring or the limitation was combining eighth notes and dotted eighth notes together, 16th notes and dotted 16th notes together. Because I used to have these configurations for both of them grouped together. But I noticed that when I separated the configurations, I only want this amount of dotted in a row or non-dotted in a row. I noticed a lot more usage of those notations, which led me to change my default priority, which I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I'll find out. I also have this configuration for the priorities is when I use this formula, the priority system. So how it works, like I said, it chooses the highest note the highest prioritized note gets chosen. What I mean is like when that note gets chosen, it reduces the priority by whole note in this instance for rhythm. Let's say you get a random number between 1 and 100. Let's say you get 90, and let's say it's the highest prioritized note above any other note. So when you use that note, it deducts 40 priority. So you go from 90 priority to 50 priority. And then let's say you're the highest priority again. Just whatever, you beat the odds, everything else is less than 50. So you get, again, whole note prioritized. You go from 50 to 10, minus 40. So let's say a third time in a row. You're lucky, whole note is the highest priority again. You go from 10 to 0. You don't go to negative, you just go to 0. In that case, what do you do from there? Do you reset your priority back immediately from 1 to 100? Or do you wait until every other note has had its chance? And then once every note has had its turn, once every note has been prioritized in that way, then only from there you can reset your priority. So there's some logic to determine when do you want to reset the note priority. So this is one option for now. So you could toggle reset all priorities all at once when all are 0. If you use all of that note, you have to use every other note until you could use that one note again. Or you could just turn this off and say, no, once I'm done with this note, I want to reset its priority. If it goes above any other, then so be it. So I don't know which is better right now, so I have to toggle. What else? Time signature, as I demonstrated before. And this is actually, I feel I fixed a lot of errors with this because there was a lot of math with these weird time signatures. So I added every type of time signature you want. And right now it's configurable up to 4. You set the tempo of that time signature. Maybe you want a 2/4, you want a 4/4 to a 2/4. But in that time, you want the 2/4 to be 70 rather than 93, which is 93 is for the 4/4. And then from there, you could choose how many percentage of measures should the toggling change. So like every 20% of measures, I want the order to be sequential or randomized. That means if you have like 3 measures, so 7/4, actually 4 measures, 8/4, 4 measures, or 4 time signatures. Sequentiality goes like sequential. Okay, you're gonna go from 4/4 to 5/4 to 7/8 to 8/4. Whereas randomized goes, you just go, you choose randomly. So first you start with 4/4, then you randomly choose, okay, 8/4 next. Okay, the 8/4, okay, then you go to 7/4 next. Transition is like, sometimes I don't like having the time signatures transition after one measure. So this option is like transition, like, yeah, keep that time signature until the next change. Or no transition, I like for if I have, let's say everything is 4/4/4/4. And I get, well, let's see, 93. There's one way doing it, question marks back to default. But just say, I like to have this one. Sometimes I like to have a break from 4/4 to a 2/4. And I don't want that 2/4 to extend for a couple of measures. I want that 2/4 to end like a sentence with adding a period, and take a break and start a new sentence back to 4/4. So you could do that. Every 30% of measures, I want to transition from 4/4 and take a break to 2/4. Just keep that transition from 2/4 off. See if I could demo that. Sorry. So this one, what did I put? Time 6. Every 30% of measures, it's going to change from 4/4 to 2/4 and not transition. Well, let's see what happens. So you got 4/4. Here it comes to 2/4, and then right back to 4/4 right after it. And then 30% of notes. Let me take off multi-track. So 4/4 for 2 measures goes to 2/4 back to 4/4. So the math, I'm still working on the math, it seems, because a couple measures after that, it goes back to 2/4. Then 1/4/4. How many measures is it? Let's see. From here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures, and then 2/4. Wait, did I count? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5 measures. I just do a percentage base because the code's easier to determine that based on the number of measures. But then again, there's also this other setting I got to show off. Change scale. This is, okay, you know how I could choose scale, right? I could add 2 scales to one song and change it every X number of measures. And when I do that, I actually, let's see, can I generate? Okay, when I do that, it actually adds text saying this measure is this scale. And then, okay, so for example, this measure is G sharp, that one. Okay, and then the one after that is G sharp pentatonic major. See how it shuffles every 15 measures? So let's see, that's correct. Okay, so it says, well, is it off by 1? Who knows? 16th measure it changed. And then from 16, maybe 32. 31. Hey, off by 1. I'll take it. All right, so that's good enough. But yeah, you'll also see like it's also going from 2/4 to 4/4. I've had to, let's actually, hold on. Let's see what else. Measures. I may have got confused with the notation include random, because there's 2 different settings. I have mood calculated, and this one's actually, sorry, this one right here, I mentioned earlier about moving the fretboard. This one right here is actually choosing the strings on the frets, whereas the measures is about choosing moving up logic. That's where you have random priority. And there's the other one I have include the previous measure. I don't know if I should get into that, but there's different preferences. So there's could be a lot I could say, but we're coming up on 45 minutes, and that should be good enough. I'll just demo this randomize all button. This can't speak anymore. This randomize all button chooses randomize for all sorts of things, not these checkboxes at the moment, but the priorities, different settings here, different maxes, and then also different types of choosing the strings. Let's keep that. I forget if it, I think it changes the different measures, priorities. Let's see. Yeah, it changes here. Changes all the different chords. And I got into a good state where it doesn't get errors. Because I had to iron out a lot of errors based on chords. Chords are a lot of work. 2, 3 chords, and then scales. We got a lot of things going on here in this. You got different time signatures, different scales. You got 2-note chords, 3-note chords. You got all different types of notes. You got 3 measures worth. That's however many measures it's writing here. And the goal, I guess I could demo some of it. The whole point is, who knows what sounds good?